You heard it from a fan right here. Pack is back.
What do you say? It's Go Pack Go all day. Back again with another video. And this time, the Green Bay Packers go up against the Cincinnati Bengals at home at Lambeau Field. And the Packers win 27-18. Jordan Love threw for 259 yards. He threw one touchdown and one interception. The Packers, they were looking very strong in the very beginning. So overall, the Packers looked really good, but there are some things they need to clean up. McManus did not play because he had some kind of leg injury, I guess, minor ache or whatever. But the Packers went out there and they signed some guy to the practice squad, Lucas Havrisic. Apparently this guy was playing on the UFL, and the Packers brought him aboard, and he made every single kick. So that's good that this happened. They bring this guy in, he made every kick. And there was no major issue with special teams. So the previous couple of games, there was issues with special teams, but clearly the Packers fixed the issue, it seemed like here. They didn't have any blocked kicks, which I'm very happy about. The running game was a little bit better because the Packers had Zach Tom and Banks playing on the offensive line. So the offensive line was a little bit stronger, even though they could have been a little bit better. They made some adjustments there with Jordan Morgan on the line, which was great. The Packers defense, it still looked like that Michael Parsons was being held quite a bit because, if somebody's grabbing Micah Parsons by the neck after he's ran by, that's pretty much offensive holding right there on the Bengals, which was never called. But luckily the Packers were able to go out there and pull out the win. The Bengals have really good receivers on their team. Jamar Chase is really tough to guard. There's a reason why he gets paid the way he gets paid. He had 94 yards catching on 10 receptions with a touchdown. You have T. Higgins with 62 receiving yards. And the Packers had to go up against Joe Flacco again. So Joe Flacco was traded to the Bengals after he already played and beaten the Packers when he was on the Brownies. Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl quarterback. He did really well, honestly, for a guy who barely played on the team here. I think he was on the team for maybe 4 days. But I think the Bengals will probably play much better in their next game. Packers, they still got to clean up a few things here and there. Jordan Love has to make better decisions and make sure that ball goes directly to his players, his receivers. That interception was a deflection. It wasn't really thrown exactly to the receiver, but I think in time, things will continue to get better for this team. Josh Jacobs ran for 93 rushing yards, which was much better than the previous game. Jordan Love was actually mobile in this game. And Matthew Golden, it seemed like Matthew Golden, this was his breakout game here. Had a total of 86 yards catching. He didn't have a touchdown yet, but for catching just 3 passes and having 86 yards, averaging 28.7 yards per catch, that's pretty good. That's a great sign right there. Romeo Doubs caught some major catches, 5 of them for 57 yards. You have Tucker Kraft, who looked like he was way better health-wise this time around than the last couple games. He had a touchdown. But overall, the offense, they got to manage the ball a little bit better, I think, in terms of trying to get more vertical than horizontal. Maybe less sweeps that they always seem to do. I do like Bo Melton on the special teams with the kickoff returns. Matthew Golden, I'd rather have him just focus on offense, because if he just focuses on offense, This team is going to be phenomenal, especially when they bring back Christian Watson. Can you imagine when the Green Bay Packers have Christian Watson on one side and Matthew Golden on the other? These guys are so fast. Matthew Golden was the fastest player in the combine before this past 2025 NFL draft. So looking ahead, the Green Bay Packers have to travel out to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Can the Packers win their first game away? So far the Packers have won every single game in Lambeau. Will this game be called right down the middle? Hopefully. Because you look at that Lions and Chiefs game last night, oh my God. That was a crazy game. Usually both those teams have the refs on their side, but it was clear as day that the refs were on the favor of the Chiefs because the Chiefs had 0 penalties. Oh, and just going back to the Packers, as far as team stats, the Packers only had 5 penalties on them this game. That's a whole lot better than 14 penalties, and I think they are on the right path. Bengals only had 3 penalties. Matt LaFleur called timeout at the right moment before that giant kick by the Bengals kicker. The kicker of the Bengals is phenomenal. He almost landed over like a 67-yard field goal before the half, but Matt LaFleur called timeout at the right moment to prevent that from happening. Good on Matt LaFleur. I think there's still some things they need to clean up and figure out on the offense to make it better. I think the defense in time will continue to get better. I'd like Jeff Hafley and how he goes about things, but I would love to see if the Packers can create more turnovers, get some fumbles, interceptions here and there. But they went up against a tough receiving core here. You know, Chase and Higgins are no easy task. Bengals don't really have much of a running game, but the passing game was a huge threat. I like to see the Packers get to the quarterback more. Lucas Van Ness got to the quarterback and had a sack, which was great to see, even though he had a minor injury. Bullard had a minor injury, and then our favorite guy, Dontavian Wicks, had an injury. Hopefully he won't be out for too long. Dontavian Wicks has caught nearly every pass after how people were talking about him in the offseason on so many drops. I like how this is going. I like that the Packers finally got a W, and they are in the right direction here. So moving on, going to the Cardinals in Arizona. Arizona Cardinals. Can the Packers beat the Cardinals in Arizona? Will Kyler Murray be playing? Who knows? But Packers, get ready because they need to keep that NFC North top position. That's where they stand right now. They're in the top of this division right now in the NFC North, ahead of the Detroit Lions. People are saying the Detroit Lions are better than the Packers. I'm not too sure about that. I think the Packers, although they had some hiccups, if they get Devontae Wyatt back, this defense is going to be phenomenal. But it's great to have these other players to take on that spot to strengthen up the depth. You have to have depth in football because you never know who will get hurt. So on that note, hit that like, comment, and subscribe buttons, and go Pack Go all day.
Ice on the field, but we bringing the heat. Jordan Love steady, got the Bengals beat. Bro sideline, Flacco's old news. Jamal's limping, they got nothing to lose. Micah Parsons lurking like a wolf on the prowl. Defense eating quarterbacks, Lambeau growls. Tay Wicks wide like the doors of a 7-Eleven. Matthew's golden eye, sending rockets to heaven. Frozen tundra, we don't back down. Green and gold kings, we own this town. Bengals fall, the cheeseheads rise. Under Lambeau lights, it's no surprise. Flacco throws, but the ball moves slow. Parsons hits hard like the Lambeau snowpack. Fans wild, you can feel the vibe. Cincinnati's quiet like they playoff tribe. Joe B's out, their luck is gone. Our O-line strong, the game's a song. Jordan loves fire, he's breaking the